That's too much. Maybe it's not your fault. Maybe this thing has gotten too loose. Well, great start, guys. Hi, I'm Jim Hodgson. Welcome to the Scene Shop collaborative writing stream. This is the Monday stream where we write Death at the HOA. You can see the... wrong arm. And that one's off the camera. All right. Forget about me gesturing to the thing, okay? It's just not going to happen. This one's off the camera. This one's off the camera. For God's sakes. Hi, I'm Jim Hodgson. Welcome to the Scene Shop writing stream. This is the Monday stream where we write Death at the HOA. Pretend that I have gestured to the other side. It's over here. I can see it. This is a web series that we're writing together. It's going to be kind of tough to write this together, I think. But so far we're getting through it and we're having a good time. When Corona is over, we will make this. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Anyway, so this is stream number 3. Now let's flip over to the writing scene. Actually, I want to start today by thanking our patrons. The Scene Shop is supported by patrons and by people subscribing on Twitch and stuff like that. So if you want to see us, make this project and other projects like it, please jump on board with us. We'd love to have your support. You can subscribe. There's some kind of thing where if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can give us a subscription for a month. And there's a link at the very bottom of our website, sceneshop.us. If you go to sceneshop.us and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see there a link to how to do that. But we'd also love to have you as a subscriber on Twitch. That means a couple of Bezos bucks go into our pockets. And you can directly support us on Patreon. And I would like to also get a PayPal set up so people can just donate if they just want to donate. But anyway, let's get going. I got my coffee. So yeah, thank you so much to our patrons who've jumped on board with us so far. That's Dan Simar, JP LaRue, Monica Hall, and Robert Gross. Thank you guys so much for the support. We really appreciate it. And later on, when we get these projects made, you'll be thanked in credits with a T-S and all that stuff. Now, it is Memorial Day in the United States, which means that we take a few moments to remember people who have served in our military, especially those who have given their lives in the course of that service. So I'm expecting a little bit of kind of a light stream today, just because it's a holiday here and most people are cooking out and going to the beach, doing stuff like that, even though there's a pandemic and they shouldn't do that. But what are you going to do? So as you can see, we're going to pick up from the last stream. And by the way, if you haven't seen any of the Death at HOA streams before, so you don't know where we are, there's also a link on our website to join, to become a collaborator of the project on Writer Duet. So you should be able to read the script if you want to do that. And also you can watch the previous streams on our YouTube channel, which is also linked from sceneshop.us. So if you want to catch up, you can do that. But let's have a little bit of a read over. Now, I will tell you that just as a point of suggestion, if you're writing seriously, like you need to get work done, there are pieces of software out there that every time you open your project, it opens here to the very first page. And what that means is every time you open the project, you're looking at the very first page. And that can be problematic because what it means is you end up rewriting all of this stuff every time you open the project rather than making new work. So I do like about Writer Duet, and I have no affiliation to them whatsoever. I do like about it that it opens to where you left off. I think that's something to look for. Scrivener does that too, if you're a novel writer. I I've used Scrivener to write a bunch of novels, and books, but I haven't used it for screenplays. Anyway, just saying, keep that in mind. Try not to edit. Try not to edit your previous work over and over again. I'm just making myself a little louder because I'm a vain person. I like listening to my voice. Okay, so what's happening here is, our main character, Roland, is about to have a conversation with a policeman who has appeared at her door. So let's just go back. Let's go back to, where did this start? Yeah. Okay, so she's left a meeting, like a neighborhood meeting with the rest of her neighbors, and she's the acting HOA president because the HOA president has died. So what we're going to do is we're going to parody. There's going to be some strong overtones of parody of shows like Game of Thrones, but instead of trying to sit on the Iron Throne in our show, people are going to try to become the next HOA president. Is that dumb? Maybe. So let's see. So we see her go home. We see her flipping through an iPad. We see her sort of, and then somebody comes to the door. So she switches to the doorbell app to see who's at the door. And then she says out loud, "Ooh, he's cute." And he says, "I can hear you. Your mic is on." We need to probably notate that that's in the camera app. In camera app. So this person is going to be this Justin person is going to be a love interest for our main character, but he's also the police. So it's a murder mystery, and it's also just a comedy about insane neighbors, and there's also going to be some lovey-dovey stuff, because I want my wife to watch. Just kidding. I do want her to watch, though. Okay. So this is page 7. Or 8, excuse me. And we're talking about doing 5 20-minute episodes. So this is kind of going to be the inciting incident for the entire arc of the series. Yes. Hi, CJ. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. Yes, it's a series, like 5 20-minute episodes. So this is going to be kind of the inciting incident of the whole arc of the season, because Roland is going to learn from Justin that he thinks that Jerry was murdered, like he didn't just fall over dead. So how do we have this conversation? I think that there's a beat here. Because, when cops are trying to get you to talk, what they'll do is they'll be quiet. Because if you're nervous and somebody else is quiet and just kind of looking at you, a lot of times the nervous person will talk to fill the space. So I think that's what Jerry's gonna do here. That's not how you spell the word can. So yeah. And I think she's... Yeah, Jerry was the head of the HOA, CJ. And now he's dead. Because why would she say she only knew him a little if she was second in command? Because being on the HOA is not a very fun thing. You're not necessarily friends with the other people. You don't know them very well. You meet like once a month ish, and you talk about boring ass neighborhood stuff. And frankly, nowadays, the less you talk to the people that you live with, the better, because you don't want to find out how awful they are. Because, like, in my case, during this global pandemic, there were let's infect each other block parties going on down the road. And that made me think that I am surrounded by ignorant people. And that doesn't make me feel happy. I would rather not know how ignorant those people are. You know what I'm saying? So just because you're on the HOA together doesn't mean that you make an effort to know each other. In fact, it's probably best if you make an effort not to know each other. Yeah. So the thing about being in an apartment is people kind of, I mean, you see them going in and out maybe, but I mean, when I lived in apartments, I almost never knew anybody that lived around me. But it's when you own a home, you know, you live here for 10, 20 years, and your kids maybe know their kids, and like stuff happens, like they want to cut down a tree and it's on the property line, so they got to talk to you and blah blah blah. And yeah, so I just thought it would be interesting to sort of call out that moment here. Wait, are you doing that thing? What thing? Where you leave silence for someone else to fill so they'll incriminate themselves. But also, at this point, I'm a little bit worried about having what Dan calls a side quest. So Dan, who's joined us in this chat, Dan Simard, not Simard, but he calls it a side quest when he's looking at a sketch, and there's the main joke, and then there are throwaway jokes on the way to the main joke. And sometimes your throwaway jokes can be like underbrush between you and getting to the actual main joke. So those he calls those side quests, which I think is a fairly good name for it. So I want to avoid side quests. However, you know, these are 20-minute episodes, so we have a little time to stretch our legs. But we want it to feel, I don't know. This is our first episode of the first season, so we kind of want to give people the meat. Give them the meat. Do you feel incriminated? No. Am I incriminable? Oh, for sure. Just not about this. On the other hand, I do feel like we got a good, I mean, on screen, I think this will be like a sort of like their vibing moment. You know what I mean? So maybe that'll carry us through. But I think this is the kind of spot where I feel like this is the kind of spot where we go ahead and write it because we're feeling it. But then we're open to in the moment being like, okay, this is too much. I mean, when I'm putting stuff together with actual actors on stage, often I'll be like, you know, this seemed like such a good idea when I was writing it, but now it just feels like too much. You know, it's just, there was this long scene in a play that I just wrote last year where one character is choking another, and it seemed fine when I was writing it, but as we put it on stage, I was like, wow, these actors are having to stand Like one of them is being choked by the other one for a long, long time. And the choker is having to stand like this, which is annoying. And the chokee is having to go, which is annoying. So we ended up getting it cut all down, but that's a good example. Anyway, all this to say, let's see. CJ says, are you doing that thing where you ask a lot of questions to throw at the investigator? Who does that? TV criminals. Yeah. Also, I feel I'm a little bit worried now that I think about it that this conversation is a little bit flippant because what he's about to tell her is that he thinks. Hmm. So um right. Was Mr. Crawford right? Yeah. Justin is too chatty to cop. Well, look. I mean, we're writing dialogue. What do you want? My plan for him is that he's not like a hard boiled, just the facts, ma'am kind of cop. He's more of a like a Virgil Flowers kind of cop. He's like an older Virgil Flowers. If you haven't read John Sanford's novels, it doesn't matter. They're not great, and they're not even written by Sanford anymore. He's got a team of ghostwriters, I'm pretty sure, because a 300,000 word novel comes out every 2 months or some shit like that. So nobody in the world can write that fast. I can give you the list of HOA members. Okay. All right. I like where you're going, chat. I like where you're going. And I'm going to make a turn. So here's what I was going to do. I was going to say, no, there's no nobody that dislikes him, but I'm going to have Roland make a turn in the middle of what she's about to say. I don't know what Alaska Thunderfuck is. What is that? Tell me what it is, Momo Seagull. Tell me. Oh, a drag queen. Aren't all drag queens fun? that's my impression. What's that? They just all want to be HOA president. Nothing worth murdering over. And she gasps in the middle of this word. Yeah. Hmm. I think that might be an exclamation point there. So here's what I'm thinking. First of all, I'm thinking, how do I get out of this scene? Because we've reached our objective of the scene, which was for Roland to realize a couple things. She's attracted to this Justin guy, and for her to find out that somebody thinks that Jerry was murdered. So how do we get out of this? I mean, I don't want to put in any, shoe leather type stuff of like, good night, closing doors, blah, blah, blah. Another knock at the door, says Annie Maeve. Yeah, but that's, now I got two people to get rid of. Nuclear explosion. Peach. Good suggestion. What's the next bit of info we need? Yeah, he gets a call from work. For me, is that's like a shoe leathery kind of thing. Okay, here we go. The HOA vultures are going to eat this up. So, I think that's the end of the scene there. Now, where do we go now? Who do we go to? Our possibilities are Rick, who's the older guy. Rick is the older guy, and he's like an engineer type, like an older engineer type of guy. And then there are the Tates, and they're like the athletic type A types. And then there's Brody, and he's the salt life middle-aged guy. So who do we go to next? I'm thinking, and then Philippa is the house flipper. I'm thinking we maybe go to Rick. She gets stopped by the endless stream of idiots. Will Roland have a kind of detective role? Yeah, I think she's going to. So here's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe we find out that that Rick has some surveillance going on, he finds out, and he says like he yeah, I think she catches, like somebody catches her in the driveway the next morning or something like that. And then she's like, "How did you guys find out?" And they say, "Well, Rick told us." And how did you find out, Rick? Well, I was listening to it on the scanner, you know. Yeah, he's yeah, but he's not like a former. I mean, he is former military, but he's was Navy, so it's not like he's a SEAL or special ops. Yeah, he's got like a parabolic mic, or he's got like he is like he's decrypting everybody's Wi-Fi or something. Um, yeah, or something like that. Like he's into security or something stupid like that, just because he's a wanker. So, how do we get into this? Yeah, obsessed with the deep state. Exactly. That's, you know, Stargirl 1521. I just want to tell you that in like 2 lines, you went from I don't know what's going on to knowing this character exactly. So, what if we do this? Uh, oh, foul play. Eh? Are high tech creeps creepier than low tech creeps? That's a good question. I think high tech creeps are creepier because it seems to me, because if you run away from them, then they still have access to your devices or something, right? At least with low tech creeps, if you are physically distant from them, then you're fine. Um, yeah. So my idea is like this is a little bit slapsticky, but like our shot of him will in his Faraday cage exactly. So our shot of him as we open will be like a close, tight shot like this, and he'll be like, "Oh, foul play, eh? What's this? HOA vultures? What?" And then wide shot, and we'll see that he's like he's actually standing on. He's got his feet on his chair, and he's like standing over like this, and then his headphone cord gets caught, and he's like, like that. He looks like a vulture. That's what I'm thinking. And now, Just want to remind you that Knob Cobblers is the name of our neighborhood. What do you guys think about doing having one of those like typewritten, like in the morning you see at the bottom, it types out the date, like police dramas used to do, like. Momo Seagull thinks he's a mid-tech creep. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But it's actually 30 days. So let's see. You guys can tell me whether you think this is overdone, but what was that director's name? Shit on my face. That wasn't his name. Ridley Scott. Right? I'm talking about the quick pieces in like I think it was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, where it's like or maybe it was Requiem for a Dream where it came from, where I first saw it, but it's like, and then there's in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, there was the thing where the guy, like, he's at his desk and it's like ticket, plane taking off, plane landing, bang, now he's in London. Yeah, that's his full name. Ridley shit on Scott in my face. Yeah. You guys knew that. Okay. Now we have, who are the Tates? I'm just reminding myself. It's Shannon and Terry. That's right. Terry the Towel. I could have just typed it and it wasn't. So these are two different volume levels. Well, I'm not saying I'm not being thirsty for Ridley Scott. I mean, he was married to Madonna, I think, right? Maybe. Am I making that up? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong director altogether. Anyway. Who directed Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels? Guy Ritchie. Thank you, Annie Maeve. Yeah, different guy. Literally a different guy. Okay. So in this scene, first I want it to be painfully clear that the Tates were waiting outside. And then as they're talking and being annoying, the other people are going to come up. Yeah, exactly. They're stretching. They're like doing downward dog or something like that. And maybe there's a minute before. I mean, there could be a minute or two before she comes out of her house where they're like, "You've got it, Stargirl," and Aaron and everybody. They're like jogging in place, or it's obvious that they're. I don't know. Maybe we don't need to make it too obvious. Yeah, like jogging on the spot, or like stretching, like limbering themselves up, like, oh yeah. You know, it's like they're. It's pretty clear that they're waiting outside for her. Yeah, when does she get up? It's already 8 a.m. So I'm thinking she does something like that, like puts her hand around the mouth. I don't need 2 parentheses, damn it. Jogs are little jumps. There are spaces between both feet or off the ground. But normally the cop would have visited everyone in the neighborhood. That is true, Dan. But I don't think that he's really investigating. I don't think that he's sure that Jerry was murdered. I think that he suspects something. And yeah, he just started with her, and well, he definitely wants some action now. But I think that I think it's not a full-on investigation. I think he's just, maybe we need to say that at the end of the scene. Tell me, you guys, tell me what you think about this. Wait. Chickles. Um, I feel like this is ruining. I don't want to do this. That's too like shoe leathery. I think she's just going to tell them here that there is no investigation. All right, let me catch up with the chat. What if he's the only one who's precinct who thinks this is suspicious? Yeah, exactly. Does he even care? Maybe he just wants to get it solved so he can move away. Momo Seagull, that's a really funny point. Like, what if we find out that he owns a place like in the next like subdivision, and like the Tates find that out and they use it to go after him, and they use it to, like, later on when he's saying, like, when it becomes a real investigation, they use that to go after him by saying, well, he's only doing this to raise his own property values, you know. Let me see. Can I make a note? Yeah, so he can sell his home more easily. Going broke. Exactly. Exactly. Precisely. I don't know how to make a note, so I'm just going to put note for later. There we go. So and now I think yeah, we have video at our house too. So now I think Brody appears, and he's gonna walk on screen, like pretending that he was flying a kite. That's what I'm thinking. Rick has everyone's Wi-Fi password. Yeah, something like that. But also, I like the suggestion that somebody said that he has like all of his technology is like old, like it's still creepy and invasive, but it's all like old. Like when we find like when we find like his a bug or something that he planted, it's like that big, and it has like a giant antenna or something like that. You know, like he's like, I used a micro recorder, and he gets it out, and it's like that big. Like, fuck, Rick, get your shit together. Actual bug shape, yeah, that's funny. Or it's like, Rick, don't you realize that you could? I mean, you could you could call yourself from a cell phone in my house, and it would be small, and the call would be free. What? Something like that. Yeah, a reel-to-reel tape machine. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So and I'm thinking like all right, so now I think we need one more person. Who's one more person that comes? I guess it'd have to be Philippa. But what's her excuse for being in Roland's yard? I think it needs to be something even dumber than a kite. What about like, does she need an excuse? She'd thrown her shoe there. That's funny. Looking for a cat. She doesn't have all good suggestions, but here's what I'm thinking. Let me just write it out and you guys tell me what you think. Uh, Um, so what's up with this investigation? Deep state. Uh, sorry for those of you who are English speakers. When I said yard, what I meant was front garden. But you knew that, right? Uh, Philip is British. No, she could be. She's not. I was just saying that for the Scene Shop members who are in the chat and who are British English speakers. So they wouldn't say yard. They would say garden. What do they know about English, though? Huh? Bupkis. Mm. Angry kite flaps. I mean, you guys know this, so I don't have to name drop, but yeah, I played a little bit of bass in Angry Kite Flaps. We were good. Um, so what are they doing as she gets into her car? Uh, Momo Siegel says, so now there's just a pile of neighborhood people in Rollie's yard, first thing in the morning, pretending they were doing various physical activities and just fell under her property. This is my understanding. Yeah, that's what we're doing. They found out at some time between when Roland went to bed and now in the morning, they found out from Rick that the police were at Roland's house, and together they cooked up this plan to like appear like in Roland's yard, like we could have a moment where they're all like arguing about who's going to ambush Roland in her yard. Is everyone who lives in the suburbs a nut? Yes, except for Roland. Maybe they had a conversation about who would be the people to ambush her, and nobody followed the sort of decisions that they made. Um, CJ says it works as is. Well, I'm certainly willing to let it be that. Okay, so, but I think the end of this first episode, we're on page 12 now. The end of this first episode should be that we find out for sure that it was a murder, right? Um, so now I think like something like this. Uh, um, that's not how you spell clouds. Maybe we start with the Tates. Snivelly. Is that a word? Doesn't look like it. No. Snivelicious. That's pretty funny. So what I'm thinking is that, like, she's like, she's gonna like do something like go to what I'm thinking is like she goes to the police station. She's like, you know what? I'm going to prove to them that there's not any kind of investigation on. So she's like, she goes to the police station and she's like, uh, I don't know how to do this or say this, but are you investigating anything related to the Jerry Crawford type thing? And then they're going to be like, yes, maybe. Or because I want to find out at the end of the episode that he really did. He really. But I don't know why we're at the gym right now is what I'm thinking. And that's why I'm being quiet and thinking, like, why are we at the gym right now? Here's what I think. Evidence in the gym locker. That's interesting. Or she could run into the Justin guy again. But I mean, she only just saw him last night. A letter with someone's name on it. Yeah, or what if like she goes out of the gym and she sees Rick, and like Rick is there with some binoculars, but he's like really, really close to the building. And she's like, kind of assume the gym is farther away. Yeah, I mean, I think it's farther away, but I'm thinking like, yeah, okay. Uh, here's what I'm thinking. It's too many words for parentheses. Meat beans is what those are called. Charge cord is hanging off the side. I love that. I don't think we need another Rick. Uh, you know that gif where he's like looking around, gesturing like that? He accelerates and hits a curb, barely missed by a moped. Aaron said, that's really funny. Okay. So what if we end, here's what I'm thinking. Tell me what you guys think. What if we end the episode with Roland works up Do we find out the deep state is a rival housing development instead of the conspiracy theory? We could do. It's just something that idiot Republican people believe in that doesn't actually exist, and they blame everything on the deep state. So that's why I'm using it. But it could be. So what if we end the episode by Roland inviting Justin, like saying, "Look, I don't want to be weird, but would you like to come over in a non-professional capacity? I could make, we could have a little something to eat, a glass of wine. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that'd be great." And so he comes over and they're like hanging out and vibing, and she's like explaining to him like how insane the people in the neighborhood are. And then she's like, I just I know this is really, it's a little bit forward for me to ask you to kind of on a date sort of a thing like this, even though because you came here in a professional capacity. And he's like, "Oh, no, forget about it." She's like, "It's just kind of nice to talk to somebody who's sort of, normal and whatever like that." And they have like this nice sort of vibey moment. And then his phone rings and he gets a message that like some report has come back, and it turns out that Jerry has indeed been murdered. What do you guys think? We fucking love it, Jim. It's amazing. Let's leave this stream here for now, and we'll think about that stuff. Notes for next stream. He gets a call. Right? So then when he gets the call, it's one of the tests that he didn't think he was going to be able to get back, and it shows that there was some toxic whatever. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. This is Death at the HOA. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I know that it's Memorial Day, so it's a holiday here in the States. I just want to say thank you again to our patrons who have jumped on board to support us, and they're making it much more likely that stuff like this gets to get made. Thank you so much, Dan, Simar, JP LaRue, Monica Hall, and Robert Gross. Very much appreciated. This Corona thing has got to get over before we go into production on the play that I was in the middle of doing when Corona hit, sketch shows, and this stuff like web series. So, I think be prepared for that to be a while. Like I'm not in a huge hurry to be going out in public and being around people until there's like, a vaccine. And that could be like a long time. So I think prepare for this to take a while to make. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out. Now, Wednesday, we've got the joke writing stream, multi-log. And Friday, we do the sketch writing stream, Sketch Desk. And the Sketch Desk has been pretty popular. Somebody mentioned last week on the Sketch Desk stream that they want more sketch writing streams. I'm not opposed to it, guys. If people want more of this kind of stuff, I'm willing to do more of it. I mean, I'm having a ball. It's a lot of fun. So do jump on there. Subscribe to us on Twitch. There are instructions on our website, sceneshop.us, to tell you how to do that. I need to get our email out today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But yeah, come about in the Discord and hang out with us. Show us work that you're working on. Do go by my website, readmyfuckingbooks.com, and buy some of my books. That would really please me. That would please me to no end. If you want me to sign a book and send it to you, I will. But they're worth more if I haven't written on them. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Hope you're being healthy and happy and enjoying your life as much as you can. Thank you guys. I really appreciate your... Oh, and by the way, I'm now exporting these to YouTube. So if you want to catch up on... if you miss a stream or two, you can just go on YouTube and watch, and you can see what we came up with other Death at the HOA stuff. But anyway, thanks, guys. A ball. You're the best. Oh, and go on the website and click the link to become a contributor on this project on Death at HOA, because later on, when we get it made, we're going to list all of the people who helped write on it. And if your name is in the list, then you'll be credited. And if it's not, then we won't know how to credit you. So that's how we're handling that, is if you sign up for Death at HOA in Writer Duet. That's how we're going to keep track of the writers. Anyway, you're the best. Thanks. Happy Memorial Day. See you Wednesday and Friday and Monday and Wednesday and Friday. Forever and ever, on and on, in perpetuity.